Fallon Taylor.
Little lady with a great challenge in front of her. This is Flo.
Baby Flo. She wins the world championship. And the winner's circle for that cowgirl.
In the victory lap, Ellen Taylor will win.
She's riding a new horse, a young horse, out of her champion Flo.
She has absolutely been unstoppable.
What's up, Flomies? Welcome back to my channel. This day could not have come soon enough. I got a new horse that I raised, that I sold. It's a whole thing. It's a whole vibe. I can't wait to take you through kind of the whole process. But let's just say Poppy is very excited. So I've sold a few colts, not a ton. In my career, I've sold lots of horses, but not a lot of horses that I raise and train on my own. By the time they're broke, it's nearly impossible to get them from me. Just because at that point, like, we're already connected, we have such a connection with the mare that it's out of, and we carefully chose a stallion, and we waited and waited and waited for the recip mare to have the baby, and then when we see the baby, then we have all these experiences with it. It's just a whole thing. It's like having a dog that's 2, 3, 4 years old and then selling it. It's a very emotional process. So I'm very excited to tell you that if you've been following me for over a decade, you already know who Roman is. His name is Nick Star Player. If you don't, I'm going to give you a little backstory, or at least either way, I know you're going to want to hear how this all came to fruition, because this is a really, really cool story. So, by the way, Poppy, back to Poppy. Whenever I do sell one, Poppy doesn't say much. He just says, oh, I hope that horse does well, or who got it, or do you have any updated pictures? But that's kind of where it ends. For Roman, Poppy has asked me once a month, every month for the past 9 years, I wonder how Roman's doing. I wonder how Roman's doing. I wonder how Roman's doing. And it was just like, Poppy just had that horse like earmarked to do something really, really special. And the great news is he already has. But the fact that now he's behind me in this barn is really, really cool. It's crazy that it actually worked out. And I'm so grateful to Roman's owner that she made this happen. I don't know that she'll ever know how grateful we are that we were given the opportunity to have him back in the barn, because it means the world to us. So Roman was not just any horse to us. He was something very, very special. So when I came back from breaking my neck, it seems really crazy, but I had even less resources and had to do even more dangerous stuff than before I broke my neck. And it was for financial reasons. I had been through a divorce, and I had to crunch down and try to break all of my own colts, even though coming back from a really devastating, almost life-ending injury, that seems like something that you wouldn't do, but duty calls, and I had to do what I had to do. So this was even before. And what's crazy that you might not note is that it didn't even dawn on me to wear a helmet coming back from this crazy injury at that time. Just because, if you guys know, I've done my best to usher in a new generation of people wearing head protection, but I even wasn't the first person. Even after I learned to walk again, I wasn't the first person to think of wearing head protection, just because it's got such a negative connotation within our sport, within our industry. So when you see videos of me reflecting back on that time of starting Roman, I did it without any headgear on it. It's so crazy. I'm just so fortunate that nothing bad happened. But the trauma was still there from I had just been bucked off. And now, in order to move forward in my career, I was gonna have to break a bunch of colts, which was just like having to battle the fear all over again of what actually almost ended my life. So it was a crazy time in my life. So Roman was born in 2010. Obviously, he was a weanling as I was learning to walk and talk again and kind of get back on my feet. So by 2012, I was ready to start him as a 2-year-old and began to just, get him going and break him from the very first day. So what's really cool is that I still had the foresight to have people film me every single day, even though that was 9 years ago. I had people film me just so I would have those moments, and I'm so glad that I did. If you've been subscribed to my channel for a decade, first of all, thank you. Second of all, you'll remember I was able to use a lot very current music at that time because nobody would like copyright strike anything. So Roman had all these Nicki Minaj theme songs, and I have like from the first day to like the 19th day around the barrels all cataloged in my YouTube. So we'll make sure and show that to you, but it was very, very cool. Needless to say, finances forced me to have to sell a lot more colts that year than I ever wanted to, and I had to start them myself. Of the colts that I've sold, I have 2 of them back. Sorry, I have 3 of those horses that I broke from that time. One is at my dad's pasture in retirement. Another is in my pasture having babies, Flo Mello's mom. And then Roman is right behind me. So this whole decade has brought on so much growth. In that time, I've been able to go back to the NFR on a horse I raised and broke and trained, won 2 world titles, and all these crazy things that have happened in the last decade. Well, life happens for everyone, and I met an amazing woman in California and sat down to dinner with her. I'll never forget. I believe we were in Las Vegas and just talked about, price, and I didn't want to sell him, but I would sell him. And anyway, she bought Roman and moved him to California, and she did all the rest of the finishing all on her own and took this horse to major, major wins in his career. She went on to have pro rodeo wins and placings, 1D championships, arena records. I believe she qualified for the circuit finals on him. She did so many amazing things, but she's found that her true passion lies in taking a young one and starting over and doing it again, similar to myself. So I contacted her when I was searching for someone else that were asking me about if I could help them find a barrel horse. It was a close friend, and I was like, yeah, let me see what I can do. One, never ask me to do that for you, because I ended up buying a horse for myself. It's like going Christmas shopping. So I contacted her because the horse, might have been a really great fit. And when I contacted her, she was like, hey, my situation has changed a little bit. If you wanted to own him back, maybe we could work out something on price that would be comfortable for you. And the timing was super right for me because I just want him back in the barn. I want to have something super, super finished. So having something that is way more finished than the 5 and 6 year olds that we're currently riding in the barn, especially if I raised it, just seemed like too good of an opportunity to miss out on. At the same time, I have so many foals that I'm needing to narrow down on, and I'm so picky about where they go. And she contacted me and said, what do you think about having one that you raised that's around the same age as when I got Roman, another 2-year-old, and then maybe I can try this again. So we talked back and forth about what would make us super comfortable as far as price, and we worked it out, and we drove halfway across the country in the opposite direction of where we were headed. We were on our way to New Jersey, but I drove to Fresno, California to pick up Roman. And of course, I cried like a baby. We didn't have the cameras rolling. It was we had to be super fast about getting in and out. It was super emotional. It's pretty funny because we took a compilation of all of her runs on Roman and made just a private YouTube video that we could watch in the truck. Cody made for me of just stacking everything one on top of another. And Cody was like, that's why you don't buy designer bags right there, because you can't sit in the truck and watch videos of designer bags. Like, this is what you're into, and I love it. So when I called Alex, I was like, I sold a horse. And he was like, oh, that's so awesome. We're narrowing down a little bit. And I was like, and bought one. So thank goodness for everybody being so supportive. It just, it means the world to me to have him back. Dad leads him along like a big red dog that he just wants to be around and pet and give treats to, and I have been running him at a few events.
I'm woman. That is a man. You're gonna have to break
I know.
that. Holy moly. That is a man.
Giraffe boy. I can't. I know. Normally you lope out of the arena petting their heads and you'll be like, no.
It has been really, really fun. I'm not riding him great right now. I'm riding him good, which I should. I didn't do all the finishing on him. Someone else did that, so getting that timing down is going to take time. Just having him here and keeping him just ready for spring, I really want him to be running with me at the big outdoor standard size pins, because that's where he came from. So at the big outdoor rodeos next summer is where I really want to see him rocking and rolling. And I'm so glad that you guys got to see a part of him being here at the ranch, because it's so special to all of us. I can't stop smiling. I'm so happy he's here. And yes, he has, you know, kind of a large aesthetic. He's got, you know, a really long neck. He's bigger than most horses you see me ride, and his white face makes him look like extra, like he's so giant. So when you see him, he'll definitely stand out, but he's got my brand on him ever since he was 2 years old. The perspective of how big he is, I don't think you can.
Well, your arms are all the way up above your head, so that should show him.
And it's just been really, really cool to watch. Now, his name is Roman because a lot of things. And his name is Nick Star Player because of a lot of things. I was going through a lot in 2009, and there was a comic that came out. I'm not going to say his name because he could be really offensive to somebody, but there was a comic that had a special talking about you got to be in line with your star player. Like, people are going to hate you, people are going to hate on you, people are going to try to tear you down, but you've got to be in line with your star player. And your star player was yourself. You got to look in the mirror and be in line with your star player. So I named him Nick Star Player. And then he was in a pen with another colt. 2 reasons for Roman. We thought he was going to be Roman nose, but it was just the white marking. And 2 was we had him turned out with his brothers and sisters in a big pen when they were weanlings. And he ran one into a fence playing too aggressively, and the colt actually died. And we were like, oh my God, I had a full autopsy done, even though I couldn't afford it. And we figured out that colt had butted a fence and broken his neck, similar to my injury, and it killed him instantaneously. And so we were like, does this colt have an alter ego like Nicki Minaj? That's like, so we named him Roman, like her alter ego. Roman Zelensky, right? Is that
Zolan Sky?
Zolan Sky, Roman Zolan Sky.
I am Zolan Sky. I'm Roman.
Roman Zelensky is the horse. She's a world champion.
So when you hear us using Nicki songs the whole time that I'm riding Roman, now you know, like, the correlation. Like, he's got a killer within. So we're hoping he brings all that energy to the next rodeo that I take him to. But anyway, when you guys are building a dynasty, I think it's more than acceptable to take a couple of steps back and just see how far you've come. Just being able to write a check to get this amazing gelding back in was such an amazing opportunity. I'm so grateful. Now, Roman's owner and I have been able to reestablish a bond and like text every week about how these colts are doing, and it feels like 2012 all over again. And I'm so grateful for that. It's just such a cool experience, and it's why we raise these things and want to see them shine in their new homes. I am going to be selling a few more foals just because I want a really manageable number of foals so that every horse gets a shot. And also, in the name of leaving a dynasty, there's going to have to be more people riding them than just us. So I am going to sell a few. But I only take those inquiries via email because there are so many. So if you're inquiring about a foal, just know they start at $15,000 and up. So I can save you some time there if that isn't within your price range. If it is, make sure to shoot me an email. It will be down below in the description box, and you can check that out. And hopefully, maybe we can have a similar story a decade from now. So I did run him at the Cordova, Maryland rodeo. I ran him at Woodstown, New Jersey. I got to run him in one exhibition and then one time here, and that's been it. Make sure you're subscribed. You're gonna wanna see what our plan is for next season. We have some really, really big, amazing news that I can't wait to share with you guys about what next season looks like, and some things that are probably unexpected. So make sure to be subscribed, ding the notification bell. I can't wait to see you here next week for Unfiltered 5. It's going to be very dramatic, per usual. All right, you guys, as always, don't forget to count your blessings, drink your protein, and say thank you to Jesus. See you next time.